It's a rematch of one of the great NFL playoff games of all time. The Chargers and Dolphins underway from Miami.
From his end zone, here's Darius Davis. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
They started on the ground with Eckler, and he'll power his way up near the 25. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. It's Eckler again. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. They'll try the air now with Herbert. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes.
Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Running on first down, Eckler. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
From the 44-yard line, here's a 2nd and 5.
Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Davis. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Herbert. He's got his man. That's Everett, the tight end.
1st and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road.
Herbert now. This is caught. Touchdown. Gerald Everett, a 5-yard touchdown.
And the Chargers are on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point up and good by Dicker.
And it's now a 7-0 game.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. Hill is going to take it out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10
at their own 19-yard line.
Here's Achane to start the drive.
And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
2nd and 9.
Hey, cover two.
Off a play action, Tagovailoa.
On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Charles, already trailing by a touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football.
One of the linebackers has got it.
And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
Herbert will give this one to Eckler.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
42 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Charger football to start quarter number 2. As they come up now, 2nd and goal. Herbert. He's got it. Touchdown, Chargers. Joshua Kelly from 3 yards out. And the Chargers have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Herbert and the Chargers staying put. They'll line up and go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away. Hill is going to take it out of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter. Already throwing the interception, giving up the score. You're down double digits. They got to figure out something, and pretty quickly here.
No doubt about it. And when we look at that sideline, I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone stepping up and making a big play. I think it would behoove them if multiple guys step up and make big plays right now. They need something positive to happen, and they need for it to happen now.
2nd and 10.
All right, fellas, listen up. Long. Out.
Now Tua. They're going deep for Hill. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. And, Charles, you know, it seems like sometimes when you fall down early, there can be a tendency there to try and get it all back in one fell swoop. And that time, that thinking leads to an interception.
And I believe you brought up a really good point there, Brandon, because you try and force plays, right? You try and get all back in one shot, just as you mentioned there. And you know you're going to need some big plays to get back into the game. But ultimately, you really can't force what isn't there.
Well, throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
Hey, Ray. Hey, easy. We're going orange. Set.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. Open man, complete downfield to Davis. Touchdown, LA! Darius Davis, 58 yards. And the Chargers continue to pull away here this first half. Now receiver in motion left.
Home to troops right. Ready.
And they'll have Herbert try and throw for it. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more.
Dolphins nothing. Cameron Dicker to kick off for the Chargers.
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. Hill is going to take it out of the end zone.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And he goes out of bounds after a solid return to the 45.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get it to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with it. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. Leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now Achane on 1st and 10. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Tagovailoa to throw on 2nd down here. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. That's sacked by Khalil Mack. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. He's got his target. That's complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. 3rd and 19, no problem, as they're able to convert.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And it's caught. Touchdown, Dolphins. Durham Smythe, a 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Dolphins get a bit closer. Mike McDaniel, no hesitation on his end. He's telling his offense to go for 2. And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. Well, it is still a lopsided score, so they're going to try a second quarter onside kick. And this will not work out. The Chargers able to recover. A second quarter onside kick there that failed. Is that something that maybe they had dialed up before this game started?
It feels like it, doesn't it? That they thought they had the right situation, you know, and the right approach in going after it. Also may signal that they feel like they have the superior team, that they can try these sorts of things, and it won't come back and hurt them later.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Back to throw here, Herbert. A little short pass. This is Everett. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. 17 more yards. They had 17 on the previous snap as well. Out of the gun, Eckler running it. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo.
Hey, go Lion.
The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1.
Set.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Once more, here's Eckler. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
1st and goal, Chargers.
And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This from 25 yards out. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter. Hill is going to take it out of the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Running left, Achane. If they didn't have that penalty a moment ago, it'd be a first down. Still a nice 13-yard pickup. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Right back to Achane on 2nd down. The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. Offensively, they're just not playing a very clean football game right now. This deficit, there's a fumble. Good news for them, at least. That went out of bounds.
You're exactly right, and as they breathe a sigh of relief, you know they're looking at the scoreboard, thinking to themselves, if we turn it over there, things could really get rough for us trying to make a comeback in this game.
They'll run here with Raheem Mostert, powering his way forward. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
They'll stay on the ground with Mostert. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Give him 22 there on the third down conversion.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 18-yard line.
Tua wants to throw it on second down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
This is caught. And the Dolphins are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. And now the Chargers are going to look up here and signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Achane trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. Touchdown! Durham Smythe, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the second half. Tua and the Dolphins offense staying put. They'll go for 2. And he is going to get in there for the 2 points to make this a 12-point game. And they decide fairly early here they need the ball back, so here's an onside kick. And this will not work out. The Chargers able to recover. I know they're down, but starting the third quarter there with the onside kick, what'd you think?
Well, I think that they're looking at it as we may not have as many possessions in this game as we want. There may be that sense and that feel that they've got to go ahead and make something happen. Steal a possession, try and steal some points, and get themselves right back in a position to try and win the game.
And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. It's a gain of 11 and a first down L.A.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Oh, a first mistake for him in the ballgame as it's intercepted. And the Dolphins are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. A few things better than a big man interception. You can always tell right when they get the football, there's that level of excitement and nervousness and also like, what the heck do I do with this thing?
And you say, no better sight? Well, not for the quarterback who just threw it. It's bad enough to throw a pick, but throw one to the big guy. But you're right about that. Now what do I do with it? But what's fun about it is you know they're going to be in the film room after this ball game telling all their teammates, maybe I should shift over to offense. I've got skills. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I always find myself cheering for them after they intercept it. Unfortunately here, he couldn't make it into the end zone. Tua going to tap this forward on the jet sweep. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play. Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Third quarter from Miami. This is 2nd and 10. Here's Tua. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They get 17 down to the 17, and it's a first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Go ahead.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
Watson, Oscar.
They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Tyler Kroft from 17 yards out. And the Dolphins have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Yeah, the touchdown apparently wasn't enough. They're going to go for the onside kick here. And this one travels out of bounds, so unsuccessful there on the onside kick try. They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 19 yards there on the catch and run. On 1st down, Justin Herbert. He finds his target, Allen. Touchdown, Chargers. Keenan Allen, 28 yards. And the Chargers will add to their 4th quarter lead. Herbert and the Chargers staying put. They'll line up and go for 2. Now they'll put a receiver in motion left. They're going to try and run. And he will dive into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful. They go with the option on the 2-point try, and the decision to pitch it worked out.
Almost felt like basketball, didn't it? But remember the dribbler, draw, drive, and dish? How about that one? Drew everyone to him, dished it to the running back. He takes it in.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. Hill is going to take it out of the end zone.
You ain't doing nothing today.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
All right.
1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And they're going to speed things up here.
That's good.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Looking to pass. Tua. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Oh, this defense knows. 4th quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game. but it winds up incomplete.
They're right here.
The Dolphins on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 8. Play action. Now it's Tua. And that's going to be incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
Ready.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And the Chargers will get the football back in excellent field position. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They're going to go toss right side with Eckler. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers. 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Yeah, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it. And let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down. Here is 3rd down and 4. Up the middle with Eckler. And he is going to have the 1st down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. And quickly, they get to the line. Eckler now between the tackles. It's a gain of a yard, and it takes us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. 9 yards, and that leaves them just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. They'll try to pick up the 1st with Eckler. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. Kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Hill is going to take it out of the end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Now Tua. Kenneth Murray charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11. Throwing Tua. Got a man. It's Barrios complete. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock.
This definitely four-down territory at this point, but a critical third down here. Tua.
He's going to let it fly. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
No choice but to go. Here's fourth down now. Here's Tua. Connecting with Hill. And they will get the conversion on fourth down to stay alive, but time not an ally.
They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down.
Solo left Zion.
Tua.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. It's caught inside the 25. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with the clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
Tua to throw.
And they don't get it. They tried for the two-point conversion there, but unsuccessful. And it's incomplete. So now only 7 seconds remain. And did the Dolphins get it? Yes! Miami football. Well, that certainly makes things more interesting. You get the score, then you get the onside kick. A little uphill battle still, but a start.
It's not mission accomplished, but the plan is working. They are in a great spot right now, and the best part, they put the defense right back on them.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call.
They'll come up now. This is second and long.
One final try for Tagovailoa.
He'll let this go deep for Waddle.
And that is going to officially draw the curtain on this one as the last throw intercepted. Oh, they try a lateral on the return, and now the ball's loose.
And the Dolphins come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statistician.